big cheese at the IRS is the hot seat tomorrow, only he won't show up. Congressman Jim Jordan is still pursuing, among others, these impeachment hearings. But I guess he's a no-show, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, frankly, Neil, if I was him, I wouldn't show up either. When you allow 422 backup tapes to be destroyed, containing potentially 24,000 emails, and you do that with 3 preservation orders in place, 3 orders to preserve all documents and communications, and 2 subpoenas in place, and you allow that to happen, I wouldn't want to come in front of Congress either again to talk about that very fact.
So your argument, I guess, is that he's not been very proactive, he's not been responsive to subpoenas and the like, and that he should be impeached. Do we know of an agency head ever being impeached from his job?
Yeah.
We came very close with the Labor Secretary Ray Donovan. If he had lost a court case, he was ultimately exonerated under Ronald Reagan. But this would be fairly uncharted waters, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's been 130 years, but when you have this kind of egregious activity, first you got to remember the underlying offense. They went after people for exercising their free speech rights, their First Amendment political speech rights. They went after them for their political beliefs. So you never can lose sight of the underlying offense. And then when Mr. Koskinen was brought in to clean up the mess, he, with, again, 3 preservation orders and 2 subpoenas in place, allowed documents to be destroyed. He knew when he testified in front of Congress, he knew that there were problems with Lois Lerner's hard drive and emails, and yet he waited 4 months to tell Congress that he knew about those problems, and then he did it on page 7 of a letter he sent to Senate Finance and says, oh, we're not going to be able to get all our emails. So we think he gave false testimony to Congress. We gave an opportunity to correct the record. He didn't do that. And so when you have that kind of record, that kind of lack of help and lack of assistance and lack of doing what the law requires, we think you should go, particularly when you're the chair of the
well, then how does this
when you're the commissioner of the IRS.
I apologize. How does this go then, Congressman? The House, where the votes would be, certainly within your committee, to impeach, the House, let's say, follows up and recommends it. Does it go to the Senate? How does it, what's the process?
Well, that's the process, but we're a long way from that. In fact, tomorrow is just the first hearing about kind of reacquainting the Judiciary Committee with the basic facts. And in a couple of weeks, we'll have in the legal experts who will talk about the standard. And some people think the standard should be a criminal intent standard, when in fact that's not what, we don't believe that's what the Constitution requires. We don't think that's a standard necessary, and all kinds of sharp legal minds agree with us.
But wouldn't it have to be like a high crime and misdemeanor akin to what we have for a president, or no?
Breach of public trust, dereliction of duty.
Okay.
Certainly Mr. Koskinen was engaged in that kind of activity.
All right, Congress, this is going to be fascinating to watch, one way or the other. Thank you, sir. Good seeing you.
You bet. Thank you.